Alright, so today I want to do a video about a more in-depth version of what heel is and how it helps you teach your dog a loose leash. The two things are different, right? A heel is going to be Olive, heel, yes, very good. Right by your side and attentive to you, and it can be in a sit position when you stop, but I'd like heel to be where your dog is following you and looking at you. Heel, good, left, good. That's what a heel is, while a loose leash is exactly what it sounds like. There's going to be a J shape in the lead, and the dog can be out in front and the dog can be behind you, just so long as the leash is loose. I do want to talk about two forms of pulling as well. There's going to be environmental pulling. That's when your dog is dead set on getting to a smell or a person or another dog, and they're pulling because they want to get to that destination. And then there's more emotional pulling. So that's when your dog is pulling to get by because a dog is barking at them, right? I'm not going to correct that. I'm going to say, yeah, let's pick up the pace. You don't feel comfortable, let's give you some more space. What I am going to correct is when the dog is smelling towards somewhere and I'm being dragged on a tight lead. The way that I correct that is by not reinforcing it. So instead of holding onto your dog and getting to that destination while they're pulling and you're pulling, I'm gonna be able to stop, wait for my dog to look back at me. Olive, what's over here, baby? Put her back into that heel. Very good. Go smell. And get her to that destination without her pulling. And that's gonna teach her how to get from A to B. So let's go into what heel is. And a formal heel is taught, at least the way that I teach it, from in front of me. And the reason why is because I want to get my dog used to being in front and coming around to my side. Very simple. This is when you're going to use your lure. She's in front. Then take her to my right side, behind me. Yes! And mark with yes. She's really fluent following that hand, so then I can remove the lure. Yes! And reward after the fact. When they're really comfortable following the hand, that's when I'm going to add that verbal cue, heel. Heel. Yes! Very good. Heel. Very good. Our timing on the yes is that the yes happens for the duration of time or the duration of space. Now in this case, it's kind of a combo of both. Olive, if I'm only going to ask for a heel with one step, yes! I'm going to take that one step, I'm going to mark with yes and reward. But if I want that heel for a longer amount of space, heel. 1, 2, 3, yes! Because what I'm marking is how much time and space between asking for the heel and staying in that heel before she gets that reward. I'll heel, 1 step, 2 step, yes! Heel, 1 step, yes! Your dog doesn't have to sit, but my dog already knows that when I stop, she sits. Heel. Yes! On your dog, you might start with just a couple steps, or maybe even 1 step when they're by you to reward. Yes! You increase those steps. Olive, heel. 1, 2, 3, yes! As your dog progresses. Now to get a continuous heel is by increasing that space. Heel. Good girl. Good girl. Yes. I like to say good girl because that's telling her she's on the right track. So this is considered a loose leash. Although she's not looking at me, Olive. And she's not in a formal heel. Okay, that's a formal heel. This is considered a loose leash walk, and I can just mark for being next to me. Yes! Yes! There is no shame in just marking that she is in the general area I'd want to be walking her. Yes! Yes! Anytime your dog looks in or checks in, reward that. Mark with yes. Yes! If they hit the end of the lead, that's when we would stop and ask them to go back into the heel. Good girl. She wanted to get to this plant, so I'm going to teach her how to get to it in that heel. Yes, go smell. Now, when I talked about correcting for pulling, I did talk about waiting for your dog to hit the end of the line, wait for them to look back at you, and then put them back in heel. But some dogs are really on the move, right? So there is kind of a second option. If your dog is pulling out in front and they've got a lot of momentum, Olive, this way. Good girl. You can do a circle with them to keep them going so then they get back into that heel instead of asking them to manually go into heel. Now, another exercise you can do out front or in your cul-de-sac or your street or in an open area to really strengthen that heel is by making a lot of unpredictable turns. And the reason why is that means the dog needs to pay attention to you to where they're going instead of just going a straight line. You should practice this in the home where there's not many distractions. We're filming this out in a more open space, but it still has some distractions, just not as many as our actual walk. And that is the beginning of heel and loose leash walking.